Most superstars get rattled when emotions start boiling over during a game. Shohei Ohtani is not most superstars. What happened between Shohei Ohtani and Dalton Rushing shocked Dodgers fans watching from around the world. For a brief moment, it looked like frustration was beginning to spill onto the field. Cameras caught the exchange. Fans immediately started debating what they had just seen. Social media exploded with theories. Former players weighed in. Analysts began asking questions. But what happened next was the part nobody saw coming, because after that moment, after the frustration, after the visible tension, Shohei Ohtani did something that only Shohei Ohtani can do. He completely took over the game, and by the time the final out was recorded, nobody was talking about the confrontation anymore. They were talking about another Ohtani masterpiece. The Dodgers entered the game with enormous expectations. Every time Ohtani takes the field, there is a sense that something special might happen. Fans do not just watch him play baseball anymore. They watch because history always seems to be lurking around the corner whenever he is involved. The crowd inside Dodger Stadium could feel that energy from the very beginning. But early in the game, things did not look smooth. The offense struggled to get into rhythm. Opportunities were slipping away. The opposing pitcher was working quickly and aggressively. And then came the moment that suddenly changed the atmosphere. A sequence unfolded that appeared to leave Ohtani visibly frustrated. For a player who is known around the world for his calm demeanor, his professionalism, and his ability to stay composed under pressure, even the smallest display of emotion instantly grabs attention. That is exactly what happened. Fans noticed it, commentators noticed it, teammates noticed it. And Dalton Rushing was right in the middle of it. Nobody could hear every word being exchanged. Nobody knew exactly what was said, but one thing was obvious. Shohei Ohtani was not happy. The cameras kept returning to him. Every facial expression was analyzed. Every gesture was dissected. Baseball fans are used to seeing Ohtani smiling. They are used to seeing him joking with teammates. They are used to seeing him acting like one of the most relaxed superstars in sports. This looked different, and that is why the moment immediately became a story. The internet began doing what it always does. Clips started spreading. Fans began creating theories. Some people said it was nothing. Others insisted it was a major issue. But while everybody else was focused on the tension, Ohtani appeared focused on something else entirely. The scoreboard. Because what happened next felt like the beginning of one of those nights. The kind of nights that seem to follow Shohei Ohtani wherever he goes. The kind of nights that leave opposing teams wondering what they could have possibly done differently. And the kind of nights that remind the baseball world why so many people believe they are watching the most unique player who has ever lived. The frustration did not break his focus. It sharpened it, and once that happened, the game completely changed. The first sign came with the bat. Ohtani stepped into the batter's box carrying all of the energy from the earlier moment. The stadium knew it, the pitcher knew it, even the opposing dugout seemed to sense it. There are certain players in sports who become more dangerous when they are angry. Michael Jordan built an entire career around turning perceived slights into fuel. Kobe Bryant was famous for it. Tom Brady did it for decades. And baseball fans have learned something important over the years. You do not want an extra motivated Shohei Ohtani, because when he locks in, the game suddenly starts revolving around him. Pitch after pitch, the at-bat felt different. There was patience, there was intensity, there was purpose, and then came the swing. The crack of the bat echoed throughout the stadium. Outfielders immediately turned and started running. Fans jumped to their feet. The ball kept carrying, and carrying, and carrying. Gone. The stadium erupted. Ohtani rounded the bases while the crowd exploded around him. Just moments earlier, everybody had been talking about frustration. Now they were talking about another massive Ohtani moment. But the scary part for the opposing team was that he was just getting started. The home run changed everything. Momentum shifted. Confidence surged through the Dodgers dugout. The crowd became louder. The opposing pitcher looked uncomfortable, and Ohtani looked completely locked in. Every great athlete has moments when the game seems to slow down. This looked like one of those moments. Every swing felt dangerous. Every plate appearance felt important. Every time he stepped onto the field, something seemed ready to happen. The numbers only made the performance more impressive. By this point in the season, Ohtani was already proving once again why he is different from everybody else. He was impacting games as a hitter. He was impacting games as a pitcher. He was impacting games as a base runner, and now he was impacting this game through pure force of will. The Dodgers needed someone to take control. Ohtani answered, again, and again, and again. A hard-hit ball here, a run scored there, a stolen base, another big play. The game slowly transformed into a showcase of everything that makes him special. The opposing team had no answer. Pitch around him, he would take the walk. Challenge him, he would punish mistakes. Play cautiously, he would create pressure on the bases. There was simply no safe option. That is what separates great players from legendary players. Great players help you win games. Legendary players make the entire game revolve around them. And on this night, every important moment seemed connected to Shohei Ohtani. The frustration from earlier had not disappeared. It had been transformed. Transformed into focus. Transformed into energy. Transformed into dominance. The Dodgers could feel it. The fans could feel it. And by the later innings, even the opposing team could feel it. The game belonged to Shohei Ohtani. The only question remaining was how big the ending was going to be. As the game entered its final stages, the atmosphere inside the stadium felt different. The tension from earlier was gone. The uncertainty was gone. The story had completely changed. What began as a conversation about frustration had become a conversation about greatness. And that is exactly what makes Shohei Ohtani so fascinating. Most players allow emotions to control them. Ohtani often seems to do the opposite. He turns emotions into fuel. The final innings felt like a celebration of that reality. Fans were standing. Phones were out. Every pitch felt important. Every Ohtani appearance felt like must-see television. The Dodgers continued building momentum. The crowd continued growing louder. And Ohtani continued delivering. By the time the game was nearing its conclusion, nobody was asking questions about the earlier exchange anymore. Nobody cared about the frustration. Nobody cared about the tension. Because Ohtani had given them something much bigger to talk about. He had taken over the game. That is ultimately what separates truly historic athletes from everybody else. When pressure rises, they rise. When adversity appears, they respond. When distractions emerge, they somehow become even better. We have seen it throughout Ohtani's career. We saw it during his MVP seasons. We saw it during championship runs. We saw it during some of the greatest individual performances baseball has ever witnessed. And on this night, we saw it again. The remarkable thing is that performances like this are slowly becoming normal. Think about that for a second. A player shows visible frustration. Everybody starts discussing the controversy. And then he responds by becoming the best player on the field. For most athletes, that would be a career-defining story. For Shohei Ohtani, it is becoming another chapter, another reminder, another example of why fans around the world cannot stop watching him. Because with Ohtani, every game feels like it might produce something unforgettable. The confrontation grabbed attention. The performance stole the headlines. And when the final out was finally recorded, one thing was clear. Shohei Ohtani had once again turned a moment of pressure into a moment of greatness. The Dodgers got the win. The fans got another memory. And the baseball world got yet another reminder that whenever Shohei Ohtani is on the field, absolutely anything can happen. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more Dodgers coverage, Shohei Ohtani updates, and the biggest stories from around Major League Baseball. Let us know in the comments below. Do you think Shohei Ohtani plays his best baseball when he has something to prove? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.